guys, it's Tim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Monday, and that means tonight is Monday Night Raw. It is almost January, so we're, I guess you could say, on the road to the Royal Rumble, almost on the road to WrestleMania. WWE technically most weeks or most years says that the Rumble kicks off the road to WrestleMania, but apparently they've got some advertising saying that the first Netflix Raw is kicking off the road to WrestleMania. So they're changing some things up and some verbiage and whatnot, but we're here to talk about everything that took place on tonight's Raw. I thought a really good episode of Raw. I thought a strong main event segment to hype up Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. These two killed it. Like, oh my God, I can't wait to just recap and talk about that one. But yeah, we haven't seen you guys much recently. We've kind of been taking a little bit of a break for the holidays. We talked some, not some, whatever. We've got Luke here. Luke, how's the holidays going? You're on a break from school right now, so how's it all been going?
Honestly, Christmas break has been pretty fun. Got to visit my family had a nice family gathering for Christmas. And also, I have an announcement to make. I will be at Royal Rumble on February 1st. That is confirmed. I will be there. So if anyone is planning on going and you want to say hi, feel free to say hi.
Do you know what section? I assume you know what section or at least area you're sitting in?
I don't actually. I was told we're facing the entranceway whenever the wrestlers are coming out. That's what I was told.
Gotcha.
I don't know if I'm on the floor or not. So all I know is we're facing the entranceway. Okay. That's what I was told.
Gotcha. I don't know if in a building that big, I almost don't know if I'd want to be on the floor for a Royal Rumble.
I don't. Yeah, I was the first Rumble I went to was in St. Louis. That was the 2022 Rumble. We were on the floor, and for a show that big, it's better if the only good way to be on the floor is if you're in the very front or second or third row.
Right.
Other than that, I don't recommend the floor.
Yeah, because when there's that many people on the floor, it's like there's so many people in front of you, and for a Rumble, the big thing is seeing them running out. Being like, oh my God, a surprise entrant, and watching them run down to the ring. Well, if you can't see the ramp or anything, then that's a problem.
I kept looking at the Jumbotron most of the time.
Well, that's what I was about to get at too. And then you got to be looking up the whole time. I had to do that once before. I went to a SmackDown in 2007 or 2008, and 2, maybe 3 rows in front of me, this kid had a big sign, so big that their arms were outstretched as far as this kid's arms can outstretch, and he held it up 98% of the show. I watched most of this SmackDown in the arena on the screen. I'm like, God dang it. Now, granted, I did the same thing when I went to WrestleMania 31, but that's just because I was sitting so far back that everybody looked about that small to me. I have those photos somewhere I could pull up and show you how far back it actually looked, crazy. But great experience, especially with WrestleMania 31 being the one where Seth cashed in Money in the Bank in the main event. So yeah, don't regret it. If you're going to go to I'm not saying don't go if you're going to sit that far back, because it's still the experience you're going to have is amazing and great being there live. So yeah, and Levi Stadium was awesome.
My whole goal in life is to one day go to a Mania. That good chance it's going to happen, since I think they're going to be in Indy at some point in the future, because that's already
so it's either
confirmed.
So it's either 26 or 27. They haven't said what year yet, but it's confirmed either 26 or 27. Because 25 they got Rumble. Maybe they just go 25 Rumble, 26 Mania, 27 SummerSlam, because they're getting all 3. So just go in order.
Yeah, just do 26 in Indy, honestly.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, because that's probably the best time I would go, because by 2027, who knows what I'll be doing.
And then also, you want to bring something else up about Rumble spoilers and stuff.
Also, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but all over Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, there's been photos leaked of people saying WWE has leaked the Royal Rumble script of who's going to win the Rumble, where are the matches on the card and stuff. That's all fake. It's all fake. Don't believe any of that. people have been doing this for years now, and it's all been fake. So don't believe any of that.
This that you see on your screen isn't real. They're never real. Literally, these have been posted out every year for the last like 4 or 5 years that I can remember. And they're never real. Never, ever real. But you go on Facebook. I don't know if you guys can see the comments here. But it's like you go on here and there's 116 comments. And about half of them are going to be like, no way. Oh my God. I can't believe it. So yeah, don't fall for it like people do every single year.
I mean, there's certain people that we already know that's probably going to most likely be in the Rumble.
Right, but these ones, like the one I pulled up, it says John Cena's winning with The Rock as second place runner-up.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen.
No.
I don't think Rock is going to enter the Rumble and lose unless like Roman's going to eliminate him.
Well, the one I pulled up doesn't even have Roman's name on the Rumble list. I think that's a good question. Is Roman in the Rumble this year? It's the first year since what, 2021? He's not the champion.
Good chance he should be, at least.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, it would be a great storyline. Whoever eliminates him, like, what if CM Punk eliminates him, or what if The Rock eliminates him?
Ooh, there you go. Punk eliminates Roman. We get Roman and Punk at WrestleMania.
And then, then like an episode of SmackDown, like Paul Heyman portrays him, or the winner gets Paul.
Oh Lord, winner gets Paul. That'd be an interesting one.
Or what if that match at Mania, Paul screws Roman and joins CM Punk?
It's possible.
That'd probably make a lot more sense, actually.
I mean, I think Punk and Paul Heyman together was fantastic back in the day.
Honestly, I think would be amazing. At Royal Rumble, they announced like the official cover star for 2K25, and it's CM Punk.
I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't be against that.
Give us a CM Punk showcase.
So I'm trying to think when they would end, because the commercial was filmed a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. The commercial has been filmed for 2K25. Usually, it gets announced around the 22nd to 24th. The last couple of years when they've announced the commercial. Actually, I can tell you exactly. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. All I got to do is go to the WWE Games YouTube account and see exactly what date, because it's basically, I looked it up recently. Basically the same day-ish. Let's go WWE. Why the hell is it not coming up? It's because I put a space? Why is the WWE Games YouTube account not wanting to come up? Let me see. WWE Games YouTube. Oh, it's WWE 2K. That's why. Oh, so their Twitter account is WWE Games, but okay, I get it now. So last year, the trailer came out on 2K24 trailer came out on if it wants to load January 22nd, and then the year before that was January 23rd. So maybe they even wait and what wins? Maybe if it's that week, heck, I could see them waiting and debuting the trailer or something like that Saturday night's main event on the 25th. But that week, the week of the 20th, typically is when we get the first trailer for the 2K game, the WWE 2K game. So, but I didn't even think of Punk, and that'd actually not be a bad idea. Or maybe Punk on like a deluxe edition, like you said, get a special CM Punk showcase mode or something.
Also, if it was a CM Punk showcase mode, who would be the matches?
Oh,
like
well,
Punk versus Rock, Punk versus Taker,
Punk versus Ray,
Punk versus Cena at Money in the Bank 2011.
Yes. Well, you'd have to cut out Vince. I guess they could do that easily. The Vince spot.
You can do that. You can just do that easily. Just be like, Punk versus Orton 2011 at Mania.
Man, I'd love to see Punk and Jeff Hardy ladder match, but I doubt that.
Trying to think, like, what were some ones like back in the day from like long-haired Punk?
I'm looking them up right now. We can't get into the Punk Bryan matches.
Or Punk versus Edge. Yeah, you probably can't do any of the Punk ladder matches whenever he won the briefcase at Mania.
Probably won't get Punk and Brock. Like some of his bigger matches, we probably won't get. Jericho, Hardy, Bryan, Brock. There's 4 right there that I would love that we probably wouldn't get. I don't know. That'd be a tough one. I mean, if on the spot, it's tough. But if I sat down and like thought about it for 20 minutes.
Who did him and Kofi beat for the tag titles?
They beat, oh man. Hold on, I'll tell you right now.
You can also add him versus Drew.
Oh, well, yeah, Hell in a Cell. That'd probably be the last match. Him and Drew, Hell in a Cell.
Maybe for like the last one, it's like multiple versions of him, like fighting.
Him and Kofi defeated. Oh, why can't I not find it? World Tag Team. That's what I thought. Miz and Morrison.
Oh, you probably can't do that one either.
Maybe not Morrison. Maybe Morrison. Oh no, he signed to AEW. Never mind.
Who did he beat for the ECW title? Like back in the day,
wasn't it?
Oh, he beat John Morrison.
Yeah,
in 2007.
Wasn't that?
That was like the tournament.
Well, hold on. No. He lost that match. Never mind. I was thinking, wasn't that the match that Benoit was supposed to be in? But Morrison ended up being Benoit's replacement and winning the belt.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, remember he was supposed to fight Benoit, but then, nope, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about Benoit. No.
I think who else?
Well, let me see. Like I named. Oh, here we go. Let's see. So you got like him and Orton from WrestleMania 27.
Him and Ryback? Jesus.
No. You can't do the Jericho match. You can't do the Bryan match. Those are 2 really good ones. You have Undertaker from WrestleMania 29. Then you have the Drew Hell in a Cell. Him and John. I mean, you could do a number of him and John Cena. There's 3 or 4 good him and John Cena matches. Not just Money in the Bank.
Can't do him versus Shield.
No, they won't put Brock. Brock's probably not going to be in this game. Because him and Brock from SummerSlam 2013 was really good. Was that no disqualification, I believe?
Yeah, that was no disqualification. I remember Punk did like an interview about that match, and he was talking to Vince like, all right, who's winning? And he's like, Brock. He's like, well, when's Brock going to be back? Not till Rumble. He's like, that makes no sense whatsoever, Vince.
Did you see Mustafa Ali's interview with Chris Van Vliet?
About the Brock?
Yeah, how nobody knew until literally Ali was making his entrance, and he said, don't tell nobody out there. So everybody that looked shocked were really shocked because they didn't know. Like, Ali didn't even know it was Brock. Vince just told him. Vince just told him, "Hey, when it's time, go reach for the briefcase, but don't pull it down. Someone's gonna come out, push you down off the ladder, and win it." The funniest part of all this is I think you even said it before. People always say how easy it is to work with Brock, and Brock is very like good to his opponents. Ali in the interview goes, Brock comes down, and I'm ready for him to just throw this ladder down with me at the top of it. So I brace myself. Brock goes, ready, kid? And the lightest of pushes ever. But because he thought that he was going to go, like Brock was going to just topple this ladder down, he literally threw himself off the ladder and hit him face on the top turnbuckle and top rope, kind of busted his lip a little bit. He's like, I screwed myself over because Brock's that good. Well, great interview. Great interview with Mustafa Ali, Chris Van Vliet. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it.
I honestly wonder what's next for him.
As he says, I got stories. He's got stories. Ali,
I honestly am.
he said he's got more of his world tour he's going on.
Because he's no longer the X Division champion.
Nope.
Maybe he does something else with TNA down the line.
Oh, I can see that for sure. I heard that relationship was really good. I mean, he even said doors open if he wants to go back to WWE eventually. He said they all left on good terms. He said we left that on good terms. So, not bad at all.
I think they should bring him back for NXT. I feel like NXT needs some more star power for the men's.
I mean, don't you remember he was supposed to beat Dominic for the North American title the week he got released?
Yeah. Then they replaced him with Dragon Lee.
Yeah, that was a interesting one. But again, it made sense. They're doing a round of cuts, and he had asked for his release like a couple months before that. So it's like, oh, we're cutting people. This guy wants out anyways. So that one was like always
a year.
Was
it was like a year or two before. Because remember,
I thought it was like 6 months.
No, it was like a year or two before, because it was like he made that tweet. He publicly wanted his release because he wanted to do some things outside of wrestling that he couldn't do while he was in WWE. Then
right.
And I remember, like, when I was at Royal Rumble, he was making tweets saying, "I don't want to be in the Rumble. I want out."
I could have swore there was like another one like 6 months before that where it was like he asked for his release again and they told him no a second time. I could be thinking wrong, but actually I might be thinking of Brody Lee, where he asked multiple times and they kept telling him no until they just released him.
Yeah, that was definitely Brody Lee.
That might be who I'm thinking of.
They released him like during that first round of the huge budget cuts during COVID.
Right. But with all of that, we want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you're watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of 2 different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get 1 free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember to help us out over on YouTube. You can help us out over there by hitting the subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos. That way you know when we go live. And that way you know when we post to the community tab. Also, if you want to support the channel, you can do so another way by hitting the join button and becoming a channel member. You can do so either at the $1 or the $5 tier. The $5 tier, you get emotes and emojis you can use in the live chat. And we're going to have some retro content coming to that as well, with watch-alongs exclusive for members, with reviews for those watch-alongs and stuff, early access to some other videos I'm working on, maybe some non-news stuff. I'm working on some fantasy booking and retrospective kind of things. So I got some plans that I want to do that people at the $5 tier will be getting early access to. And then maybe I do some other stuff that they'll get. I got some plans. I got some plans to really build that, and patreon.com/PW Unlimited up. Also, remember, you can help us out by donating a super chat. It's the best way to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air. Finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use our code PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Maybe you're getting all the new winter skins and stuff in Fortnite. Maybe you got Shaka Claws or whatever they're calling them. Santa Shack, I think is what they're calling him. Go to the shop and it's going to say, do you have a creator code? Support a creator? You do. It's right here. PWUNLIMITED. Whether you're doing it on your PlayStation, your Xbox, your Switch, your phone, your tablet, or your PC. Use this code in Fortnite when you're getting all that cool new stuff in the game. Or maybe you're getting stuff in Rocket League or Fall Guys. Go over there, hang out, use our code. But with that, as far as Raw does go, excuse me, the show itself did kick off with the Then, Now, and Forever Open. And this was, they said, the 1,203rd episode of Raw. Oh, damn. Show's been around forever. Excuse me, I'm trying not to sneeze all of a sudden. Oh, man, it's like right there. You ever have it where like you can tell you're about to sneeze and it's right at the tip of your nose?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've had
man.
that happen many times.
And now it's like gone. What the shit? Anyways. So Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett are away from the commentary table. They're like by the commentary table, but they're not sitting in commentary. They're on mics and whatnot. And people have asked what's going to happen with commentary starting next week because we know that Michael Cole and Pat McAfee are taking over. What about SmackDown? We don't know yet. Excuse me. So we don't know exactly who's going to be the SmackDown commentary team, but there was a point during the show that Joe Tessitore did state that he, Wade, and Big E will be doing a post show after next week's Raw, not on Peacock or anything, not on Netflix, but on the Netflix YouTube channel after Raw. There will be a post show with Joe Tessitore, Wade Barrett, and Big E. So that's an interesting one. No Jackie Redmond. I would have thought maybe you have Jackie to kind of host it, and then you have the other guys like you usually see after and before the premium live events. So yeah, interesting one. But we still don't know who's calling SmackDown. Where's Corey Graves going? I assume maybe he stays on SmackDown. Maybe SmackDown ends up a 3-man booth with Corey, Wade, and Joe. Or it's just Corey and Joe. Or Wade and Joe. I don't know. What pairing would you like to see for the SmackDown commentary team since we know that Raw's getting Cole and McAfee?
SmackDown?
Yeah.
Sorry,
I was turning my fan on.
Wade and Corey Graves wouldn't be horrible.
No, they were good together when they were a unit. It's just we've had Michael or Corey Graves. Rewind. Whoop. We've had Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett for a couple months now, and I feel like they're really good together. Like really good together. I've liked them on Raw.
Unless you just move them to the SmackDown.
That's what I'm thinking. But then where's Corey go? What do you do with Corey Graves? Do you make it a 3-man booth on SmackDown?
I feel like that'd be too much.
I mean, WWE did 3-man booths for a very long time. Granted, Lee Fitting's not a fan of 3-man booths, so I don't know.
That was the whole Vince thing, the 3-man.
Well,
the 3-man booths.
Vince and Kevin Dunn, because I know Joe Tessitore's not a big fan of the 3-man commentary team.
I think it's fine just to, if you have 3, then you just have too many people talking. Because it's like, what's the third guy going to do?
I mean, AEW sometimes on like a Rampage gives us 4.
That's way too much.
I've watched a Rampage multiple times when that show's dead. Anyways, multiple times where they've had like 4, where it's like Excalibur, Taz, Shivani, and Jericho. Or no Jericho and Matt Menard, or no Excalibur. And yeah, that's a crazy one. But so they welcome us to the show. And where was I? I just lost my spot. Also, they said something. I didn't notice this, but I saw someone tweeting on, did we really get the first hour and a half of this show with like almost no commercials?
I think so, yeah.
Because I kind of didn't notice, but I saw someone on Twitter tweet that. And they were like, oh, cool to see a 90-minute part of this show with no commercials. And I was like, wait, what? Was I just not paying enough attention where I thought they kept going to commercial? I don't know. Or could it have been because I was watching on the USA Network app? I was getting kind of like ad break deals. Because I get different types of breaks watching. When you watch on the USA Network app, you don't get the same commercials everybody else does. You just get some regular commercials and then a lot of like NBC and, NBC Universal kind of ads. Like I saw that Reba McEntire Happy's Place show. I saw a commercial for that show like 5 times. Fonzie says it was 30 minutes. Okay, that makes more sense then. I saw somebody tweet out did they just say 90-minute commercial free? I didn't hear it. So Fonzie, thank you for the correction. It was the first 30 minutes. Gotcha. That makes more sense. I was like, I know I saw this Reba commercial 5 times. Good show though. If you haven't watched Happy's Place on NBC, the new Reba McEntire show, really funny. It ain't Reba. Like Reba back in the day on WB, goated. This is good, but it ain't Reba great. I don't know if you ever watched that show back in the day. Now they run reruns on like Up and CMT.
Nah.
Reba's amazing. That show is fantastic. The premise is, some people are always like, man, a show about your husband cheating on you and your teenage daughter getting pregnant? Damn. But no, they did that show amazing. Anyways, New Day come out to basically open up the show. And the crowd's booing the crap out of them. New Day sucks chants. Woods tries to talk. Drowned out in boos. Kofi then goes, if you'd let us talk for a second, and they boo even louder. Kofi knows what he's doing. You say that to get them to boo louder. You go, I think they can get louder. I'm going to make them get louder. Kofi's a pro. Both of these guys, amazing. Woods asked the crowd, quote, what did we even do to you? And the crowd boos even louder. Kofi tries to speak. They boo again. Before Kofi can say anything at one point, the music of a main event, Jey Uso plays, and he comes out through the crowd, and the crowd goes wild. I think it was Woods goes, oh, you love Jey Uso, do you now? And they boo him and cheer Jey. Jey does the thing, and they all yeet at one time. Woods asked Uso, tell the crowd to quiet down for us so we could speak, please. Even with the suggestion of, hey, let him talk, they still drown out the New Day with boos. Uso said that he and the New Day, they go way back. But he only had one thing to say to them. New Day sucks. Woods then stepped up to Uso, and they had like a little face-to-face little thing before Kofi was like, no, back it up. And the New Day leave. It was a little weird of a segment because it was like nothing happened in this between the New Day and Jey. Like, New Day did nothing. There was nothing other than maybe a tease of Woods and Jey, but that's not the direction anyway. So I don't know what we were. Before we get into the other stuff with Jey here, what did you think of the Jey New Day stuff? I just felt like it was kind of just a weird transition to get Jey out there that almost wasn't even needed of the New Day. Just a way to get, hey, New Day's getting booed.
Yeah, I don't think I really agreed with that.
Yeah, it just felt a little weird because New Day, again, like I said, didn't say anything of any relevance. Granted, they got booed, so they couldn't speak, but it's just like, do they just throw them out there just to see how loud they'd boo, just to see if it's still working? I don't know. But Jey is out there by himself now. He says focuses on the new Bloodline, Drew McIntyre, as he challenges the latter to come face him. He was then interrupted with the video by Solo Sikoa, who also had Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu with him. Also, if you love Solo, we got the shirt for you. We have our brand new I Love Solo shirt available on our TeePublic store. You can go to tinyurl.com/shop PWU or pwu.co/store to check out that shirt. Actually sold more than I expected. We have it in red with the red font, and we have it in white with the white text as well. It says right on there, I love you, Solo. If you guys are interested. But Solo on the video, he said that Jey and Jimmy, they made big mistakes siding with Roman. He promised that he would remain the tribal chief after next week's tribal combat match on Netflix. Then everybody would have no choice but to acknowledge him. Jey was about to respond, and all of a sudden, here's Drew McIntyre. Drew jumps in the ring, assaults Jey Uso, sneak attack. McIntyre tried to size him up. 1, 2, 3, go for the Claymore. Boom! Big old fucking super kick. Like, big super kick from Jey. But there was a Glasgow kiss headbutt that gave McIntyre the upper hand. Officials and crew members and security ran out there to break it all up. McIntyre ran back into the ring after being pulled from the ring, gave Jey a Claymore, and that ended the segment. Good hot segment there towards the end, but the early stuff with the New Day was kind of just like a head scratcher of what are we building up to here? What is this for? We're gonna get Jey and Woods in like 3 weeks? What'd you think?
I mean, in the beginning, it was great for like the New Day to get booed, but I think the J stuff was just to give them something to cheer for and just boo the New Day.
Right. No, I agree. It just, the stuff with the New Day felt a little weird to me. Because it was like, we accomplished nothing, to be completely honest.
I mean, overall, I like the stuff they're doing with the New Day, just getting them booed heavily.
Yes.
Also, the stuff that people are posting about, like Woods, ever since he turned heel, is freaking diabolical.
Like what?
On Twitter.
I don't know if I've seen it. What are you talking about?
You remember like the week after they turned heel and like Woods stole that guy's camera and walked to the ring with it?
Right.
Someone took a screenshot of that and said, this isn't the first time Woods had a camera and recorded some messed up stuff.
Oh, okay. I did see that. I thought it was maybe something different. Yeah. And Paige and Brad Maddox.
Can you imagine if like someone, or like, what do you remember? What about the part where like Kofi and Woods had that argument backstage? Could you imagine if Kofi brought that up?
Oh Lord, WWE would never bring it up, but fans
would never bring it up.
Fans will.
Fans will, but like WWE would never bring it up. Like if they did, that would probably break everything.
Right. Yeah. No.
That's probably a big no right there.
Oh, I don't think anybody in the company would either, to be completely honest.
I don't think them, or I can see AEW possibly doing it.
No, I doubt it. Not with as much trauma as it actually brought Paige or Saraya. Like, no, I doubt it. But as we move forward, Kathy Kelly, she was the American Maid and Chad Gable ahead of his match with Otis. Gable said that tonight he'd start checking off his bucket list by beating Otis. Gable promised the final lesson will be taught to Otis, with the master remaining the master. This then did lead to a Chad Gable Otis match. An okay match. I mean, it was a solid TV match. I will say that.
Someone in the Twitch chat said Usos brought it up in a rap battle.
Did they? I don't remember that.
I remember, I think this was 2017 or 18. They had a feud with the New Day. I think this was 2017. They had a feud with the New Day on SmackDown. And it is a skit where like they had a rap battle. And then one of the Usos said, "Hey, Big E, let's keep it PG. Like, don't get all rated R like your boy Xavier Woods."
So I remember the rap battle. I don't remember anything they said, though. I remember they did the rap battle, though.
He said, one of the Usos said, just, "Hey, Big E, keep it PG. Don't get all rated R like your boy Xavier Woods."
Interesting. Also, we do have a bit donation from Esports Gaming Rules. He says, "Love the WWE Raw on Netflix flashback video. Yes, that was really good." He said, "And that Seth Rollins CM Punk promo was fire. Oh, yeah, they killed it." He said, "With the AEW and Vince McMahon reference talks, AEW and Vince McMahon references talk about real." Well, also, the Colt Cabana podcast reference basically said, you went to your buddy's podcast, tried to shut us, or not shut us down, but what is they talk us down, or yeah, basically bringing up Colt Cabana. Like, oh, damn. We know.
I honestly hope I beat.
You know, we know how Punk feels about Colt. I don't know if they've ever, patched things up, but at least about a year and a half ago, they still were not good.
I honestly hope I meet Colt at WrestleCon. I know he's confirmed.
That'd be cool.
I used to play Fall Guys with him back in the day.
Man, I haven't played Fall Guys in a while.
Neither have I.
Granted, me and my son did one of those creative islands in Fortnite, and it was basically just Fall Guys. Like someone's like created a Fall Guys map within Fortnite. I was like, so basically I played about a week ago.
Fall Guys just kind of fell off though. It was at its peak whenever they did the WWE skins and wrestling fans started playing it all the time.
Well, I mean, there was it wasn't long, but it was like a 2-3 month time where Fall Guys was like one of the top 2 or 3 games. At least
Probably
for
for like
like
2 months, and the fans got bored of it.
At least for like streamers. Well, they got bored of it because like it kind of got repetitive, if I'll be honest. Because there was a time where I played a lot of Fall Guys.
I feel like it kind of got toxic a lot.
I just know to me it felt like it was getting repetitive.
Probably.
Anyway, as far as this Chad Gable Otis match, Gable started off by clubbering Otis with chops, but it really didn't affect him much. The big man almost kind of no-sold him. Otis responded with a shoulder block that left Gable rattled in the corner. Otis lifted Gable over his head for a gorilla press drop, which sent Gable outside the ring. The two then fought outside the ring, and Gable yelled at Tozawa and Dupree at one point, which gave Otis an opening to throw the former mentor around a little bit. Once the action did return back inside the ring, Gable attempted a comeback that was snuffed, and he was thrown back into the corner yet again. Otis rolled under a Gable clothesline and answered with a clothesline of his own. Otis looked really good here, like better than he normally does in this match, so kudos to that. At one point, they're on the top rope. Gable went for the diving headbutt and missed as Otis rolled out of the way. Gable tried to run away, but Otis caught him and unleashed a fury of offense. Gable got rattled by a frightened train spear from Otis, which led to a caterpillar elbow. The pinfall attempt was stopped as Gable's foot was on the ropes. The Creed brothers then attacked Tozawa at ringside, which prompted Otis to get involved. Maxine then tackled Ivy Nile as Otis re-entered the ring. Gable locked in the ankle lock on him. After a long struggle, though, Otis managed to power his way out of it and pushed Gable out of the ring. The Creeds then entered the fray and got taken out by Otis, tossing Gable into them. Otis then ripped off his shirt and locked in an ankle lock of his own on Gable. Gable, though, did escape and nailed an impressive deadlift German suplex on Otis. Gable went to the top, but was met by Otis' clothesline. Nile then tried to grab Otis from the ringside area, which kind of created a momentary distraction. Gable then got on another ankle lock, grapevined the leg, which created enough pressure for Gable to get that submission in tight, and Otis tapped out. So Chad Gable did win via submission in a really, really good match. One of the better, if not maybe even best match I've ever seen from Otis. What'd you think?
It was good, but you get a little tired of American Alpha feuding with American Made, because I feel like they've been doing this a little too long.
I think this could be a good, like, we're finally done with it thing. Because what? Chad beat Tozawa last week. He beat Otis this week. There's nothing left. So we got a promo of Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan for next week. Neither of them on the show live, though, which was interesting. I was shocked by that one. They hyped up their last woman standing match. You see Rhea Ripley break the internet over the weekend?
What'd she do?
She's got an ass. She was shaking it and letting Bianca and Naomi slap it at a live event.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
People, I don't know, anything with ass breaks the internet. Like Tiffany Stratton, like there's a photo of her with her butt hanging out at a live event, and people were breaking the internet over that.
Oh, no, this one's easily 10 times, like, as far as the amount of attention and tweets and Facebook posts and everything, this is easily 10 times more than that with Rhea.
Have you seen the Indy Hartwell stuff?
Her vlogs?
No, like her like Twitter and Instagram posts and people breaking the internet for that.
Oh, no, I've seen she's been doing vlogs since leaving WWE. She did one right when she, like, not long after she left. I saw that one, and I saw another one where she went back to Australia for the holidays or whatever. But I haven't seen, like, any of her, like, just normal, like, posts or anything. Esports Gaming Rules with another bit donation. He says, did you hear the Judgment Day got new music? Actually, we posted that video of their new music on all our social channels, so yes. So does that make it official that Def Rebel is gone from WWE? They have been for a while, actually. Says,
that really wasn't a Def Rebel song. That was the same band that.
Yeah, that was Alter Bridge. That was, yeah, you're right. That was an Alter Bridge song.
That was the same brand. That was the same band that was singing Edge's theme, or Copeland.
Right. So yeah, that wasn't even a Def Rebel thing, anyways. But he says, what do you think of Triple H having backup plans for the card? Well, you have to. Having backup plans for the card for WrestleMania 41. You have to. Right now, you have your plans, and then if Rock shows up, you have what you can shift to. And as of right now, most are under the impression Rock is not working WrestleMania 41. So things like Cody and Cena may be the night 2 main event. I still think it should be. And I got a video coming out Wednesday where I talk all about this and my fantasy booking, how you get John Cena to WrestleMania. And again, this is my fantasy booking. So hold on. I want to preface. I got a video coming out Wednesday I'm working on, January 1st. It is my fantasy booking, not me reporting anything or saying, this is what's going to happen. This is just me, how I would fantasy book it. So any of the people that are going to come in here after WrestleMania and go, you lied. You said this was going to happen and this was going to happen. And this was because I know there's going to be some dumb bitches that do it. It's my fantasy booking and how I would do it. I haven't done many, if any, of these fantasy booking videos before. And that is why. Because every time I fantasy book on a podcast, then people come back and go, you were wrong, dumbass. Well, fuck it. Because I want to do maybe more fantasy bookings type videos. Because I could actually do different things production-wise with those videos and graphically and editing and cool things that I wouldn't do in a news video. But I shied away from them for the fact of every time I fantasy book on a podcast, like I said, I get all this hate and stuff. Now, you know what? Brush it off. Been doing this for 9 years now. Fuck it. Screw it.
God. I love Cena to death. Like, he was the first wrestler I actually really loved, like, when I first started wrestling, but I kind of feel like whoever faces Cody, it should be someone younger and who would actually benefit from it.
I think it should be Gunther, and a babyface Cena and a heel Gunther going into WrestleMania would be amazing. Not babyface Cena, babyface Cody, and the crowd turning on Cody, because they're going to want Cena to win and get number 17, so the crowd's going to turn on Cody. That's just my opinion.
I wonder who Cody would face if it's not The Rock. Braun Breaker.
Well, Cena. I thought my original, I'm torn because, and I'm giving away my whole video here. My original script I wrote before the news came out last week of Cena Cody was Cody Punk at WrestleMania. So
I think it's going to be Punk versus Roman.
Because my original fantasy booking about a month ago was Punk wins the Rumble and challenges Cody. That was my original thought process.
I think what they should do, at least, they should do Punk versus Roman, and then give Paul Heyman to Punk, and have Punk face someone at SummerSlam, which I don't know. It's tough.
So if you put Heyman and Punk together, do you turn Punk heel?
He could be like a beloved heel. He's the heel that the fans really love, like when Roman was the tribal chief.
Yeah.
Like the fans are not gonna view him any differently if he's a heel.
True.
So you might as well just go for it. I mean,
right.
Oh, I got it. Cody versus Drew McIntyre.
That actually, he goes through Jay, he goes through Jimmy, he's gone through Sammy. Yes, we didn't see Cody team with Roman at Survivor Series, but he did at Bad Blood. So I could see that one too. That would not be a bad idea. Ooh, Drew win the Rumble?
Drew wins the Rumble and beats Cody.
Man, I don't hate it.
Which I know fans are going to be devastated when Cody loses.
I'm giving away my whole video here for Wednesday, but the promo Drew would cut when he eliminates John Cena at the end of the Royal Rumble that next Monday on Raw. Oh, I took out your beloved CM Punk, put him on the shelf. Now John Cena wants to come back one more time, and I took him out too.
Then I honestly feel like, just have Cena win the Chamber, honestly.
Well, I honestly, I don't think Cena's going to be, because they keep saying Cena's going to be in Toronto. Cena's at an Elimination Chamber. Cena's not working the Elimination Chamber show to not be in the Chamber. That's just not who Cena is. What is he going to do? Go work a match with Dom? A random Dom match? No. Cena's going to be on the Chamber pay-per-view to be in the Chamber.
Yeah, most. Yeah, like.
Okay, I gotta stop talking about this because you guys are not gonna watch the video when I just tell you my whole fantasy booking here.
Well, we gotta get back to Raw. We keep talking about the Rumble.
True. We go backstage.
And Mania.
So this was where I was like, a little weird. Go backstage. All of Judgment Day's there, even Raquel, except Liv, which is weird. It's like, did Liv and Rhea both get the night off or something? I don't know. Anyways, so we're backstage in the Judgment Day clubhouse, and they're all talking about Liv's match next week, and Finn's talking about how we're gonna worry about the War Raiders and Damian Priest tonight, and this and that, and they all go to leave the room when he stops. Raquel and goes, "Hold on, I would love for you to tell Liv from me that I wish her the best of luck next week in her match with Rhea." And he is being so condescending and so just a jackass in the delivery here. I loved the way he was just like, she never wants to listen. Like, it's basically him saying, she never wants to listen to me, so I'm just going to say, good luck. Remember what he says? You listen to Finn, you always win.
I'm honestly curious what 2025 is going to look like for Finn, because I know there's been a lot of reports how Finn has been such a leader backstage.
According to WrestleVotes, he had stated that Finn is in line for a singles push, a big singles push in 2025.
Now, is it going to be for the world title or Intercontinental Championship?
I don't know. I would assume world title, since that's what he's been going after.
He wins the world title at SummerSlam and Cena beats him at the end of 2025?
No, I think Cena gets that world title at Mania, and that's the only one. Whether that's the World Heavyweight or the WWE. I think Cena wins a world title at WrestleMania. That's how you end night 2 of WrestleMania, with John Cena with the belt. And then he goes in and holds it till, I don't know, October, November, and drops it in maybe Survivor Series.
And then, like, his last Raw or SmackDown is his retirement match.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it'd mean a lot more though if he won it on the last episode of Raw or SmackDown of 2025. Then,
so like he's fighting all year to try and get to the title, and just little things prevent him until very end.
Yeah.
I mean, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
Like, I missed out on Mania. I missed out at SummerSlam. I missed out at Crown Jewel.
I just feel like the way Triple H books, he's going to want that big moment at the end of night 2. And like, what is it? Cody retaining against somebody? No, I think it's John Cena in the ring with pyro going off like wildfire, and the crowd losing their minds because John Cena's 17-time world champion, even though technically he hasn't beat Ric Flair's real record.
His WWE record.
Well, yeah, his WWE, NWA, WCW record. Real record is 21, but 18, 19, 20. 4 of those aren't technically counted. Like there's a couple overseas that they didn't technically count, and I think the one with Terry Von Erich, they didn't count or something like that. So, correct me if I'm wrong. But the real number, and Rick will tell you, and other people will tell you, the real Ric Flair world title number is 21. Kathy Kelly's backstage with Iyo Sky and Dakota Kai. She asked them, hey, what would it mean if it was the two of you in the finals for the Intercontinental Women's Intercontinental Championship? Because that's possible. And they were just like, hey, we both want to win the belt. We respect each other. And if we're in the finals against each other, that's great. And we're going to put it all on the line. So speaking of that, Dakota did take on a Zoe Stark. I predicted this backwards. I thought Zoe beats Dakota, Iyo beats Lyra, and Iyo wins the title. Nope. It's Dakota and Lyra. As much as I would like to see Dakota Kai win, I think Lyra wins the belt.
Oh, no, Dakota Kai should win.
All I'm going to say is I was given a hint of the first woman's Intercontinental Champion this is not the first time I wasn't told a name. All I was told was this person's won a singles belt already before. Dakota hasn't. Lyra's won the NXT Women's Championship. That's why.
Yeah, I just broke my heart. Kind of just broke my heart right there. I really want Dakota to win.
So yeah, it was hinted at to me now. I don't know if it's true or not because I only had one person tell me this. The hint was the former singles champion. It's slated as of a week and a half ago to win. So as of, yeah, basically, I was told right after Saturday night's main event. So as far as this match does go, though, really good match. Kyrie started off with a boot to the face of Stark. And they started doing some like flips and some cool moves and whatnot. Stark then landed on her feet at one point. She couldn't avoid a knee strike to the face from Kai. On the apron, Stark and Kai had a little dog fight as the latter got the upper hand. The upper hand lasted all of a few seconds as Stark nailed a drop kick on Kai, which headed to a picture-in-picture break. When we returned, Stark was in full control of the match, and she taunted Kai. Kai did fire back at one point with a flurry offense, and a big assault, and a back cracker as well. Starks at one point did answer back with an exploder suplex and a big knee to the head of her own for a 2. Very close. Almost a 3, but a 2. Kai rolled through on a powerbomb attempt by Stark to get yet another near fall. There's a big kick by Stark that followed, but it kind of like didn't really go well for her. She attempted a springboard attack. And so Kai attempted a springboard attack and Stark caught her with a super kick. No, I got that backwards. Starks hit a springboard move and Kai hit the super kick. This then led to the finish with a fireman's carry and a Pele kick, and Dakota Kai picking up the victory. I wrote my notes way wrong there at the end. But good match. I thought it was a really good, solid match. One of, you could say one of the better matches, but I didn't think many of those triple threats were that good. So, yeah, of course, it's going to be one of the better matches of the tournament. What'd you think?
Yeah, this was definitely a good match. I mean, I kind of predicted Dakota Kai to win this match anyway, so.
Mm-hmm. See, I predicted Dakota to win the whole thing from the start, but then when they flipped things around, added Iyo, I'm like, oh, Io's going to win the belt. But now Io's out, so she'll not win the. I don't know. They screwed with my mind a little bit when they did the Kyrie injury thing. So then we got some more Raw on USA highlights, including shots of Chris Jericho, Adam Copeland, Bryan Danielson. They tell us next week, Raw on Netflix debut is also the start of the John Cena retirement tour. So day one of the year-long retirement tour, which we already knew, is next week, January 6th. So we have a 6-man tag team match. It's Damian Priest and the World Tag Team Champions, the War Raiders, Eric and Ivar, taking on the Judgment Day's Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and Dominic Mysterio. Again, as previously mentioned, new music for the Judgment Day. Well, that was interesting to hear. But Priest and Balor started off for their team. McDonough got the quick tag as Balor avoided Priest in the corner. Priest then got the tag to Eric, who nailed consecutive slams on the Judgment Day trio. The War Raiders then nailed a unique double team move on McDonough as Eric lifted Ivar up and threw him on a prone McDonough. Balor at one point saved McDonough from the War Raiders double team, but he and his former co-tag team championship partner were sent flying over the commentary table. When we returned from a commercial break, Eric attempted to fight his way out of a Judgment Day kind of like trio barrage. They were all tagging in and out over Eric and whatnot, keeping him in their corner. Eventually, he did take down Finn with a neck breaker. Eric tried to power out of Balor's rest hold at one point and couldn't. Balor then kicked away Damian Priest, who tried to jump in. And Eric finally got the tag to Ivar, who entered the ring and cleared house. Ivar did miss a Bronco Buster on Balor. Ivar then leapt into the corner and tagged in his partner, Damian Priest, who proceeded to clean house himself of all 3 members of Judgment Day. He had Dominic in his sights at one point and hit him with a nice, gnarly clothesline. South of Heaven attempted, but interrupted by Carlito, who provided a nice distraction long enough for Dominic to clip Priest in the leg. There was action on the outside that saw Balor and McDonough take out the opposing War Raiders. In the ring, it was Priest hitting that south of heaven on Dominic and pinning him 1, 2, 3. Yet Balor then jumps in and attacks Priest. Attacks the knee of Damian Priest. Eric and Ivar step back in. Finn leaves. And there we go. So there's still whatever with Finn and Priest. I'm kind of over it at this point. Give me just one more Finn Damian match and then we're done. What do you think of all this? 6-man and more Finn Damian.
I'd say kind of just hold it off for a while. Because I'd say just hold it off till the Rumble, then you can have you do Damian eliminates Finn, but then the rest of the Judgment Day screws over Damian.
So you'd keep it going that long? I would say the second or third Raw on Netflix. Just do the match and get it over with. End the feud.
But what are you going to do with Damian and the Judgment Day at Mania then?
Well, what do you need to do, Damian and Judgment Day at Mania? You could have them already separated by Mania. That's April, end of April.
But what are you going to do with them? What's Damian going to do by himself at Mania? What's the Judgment Day going to do at Mania then?
I haven't thought that far for any of them. Really, I've thought for Punk, Roman, Cody, Cena. That's all I've really thought about for Mania. And Seth, because I can see Seth maybe challenging for a world title. So it's I
was kind of thinking Seth versus Gunther for the world title.
And I was going to get at that. As we said, maybe Drew going for a world title. Maybe it's Seth instead. I don't know. I'm still kind of pondering things in my head because I have had somebody with some knowledge kind of go, hey, what if Seth's in a big spot at Mania? Just saying. And the only big spot I could think of is Seth Gunther.
I actually thought of the storyline for that.
What do you think?
Seth wins the chamber, challenges Gunther, and the whole storyline is the first time you were ever on the main roster, I beat you.
Ooh. Interesting.
And then Gunther beats Seth at Mania to be I finally beat you.
Oh, wait. Say that all again.
So the whole storyline would be Seth mocks Gunther being the first time you were on the main roster, I beat you.
In what match?
It was that 8-man tag. It was Seth, the Street Profits, and Kevin Owens versus Imperium.
Now that you say that, okay. I remember what you're talking about now. Because I was only Cody and Sammy have pinned Gunther on the main roster. That's where I got a little confused for a second.
Seth sort of beat Gunther.
Right. Technically. But, yeah, I can see Seth and Gunther as a top match for WrestleMania. Maybe Seth wins the Rumble. Seth won the Rumble before. I was trying to think.
Have Seth win Chamber.
Oh, Cena's got to win Chamber.
What do you do with that? I think the Rumble should be Drew. Give me Drew versus Cody.
I don't know. Because remember,
because you gotta have a heel face. You gotta have that heel face Cody though.
Well, but if they do Cena, babyface, Cena, Cody.
Yeah, but then you have people booing Cody, like you said.
Hey, that one of the biggest plans they got right now is Cena, Cody. It's written down. If it ain't Rock, it's Cena for Cody. And right now, it's not Rock. I don't even know if Rock shows up next week. I would assume makes at least some sort of an appearance, but that's not even a guarantee at this time. We don't know. You would think if Rock was going to be on that show next week, they would advertise it. Oh my God, first Raw on Netflix, and we get The Rock? Unless we get some big announcement on McAfee this week. Rock's going to be on the first Netflix Raw. I could see that too, with McAfee and Rock being close friends and whatnot, and McAfee works for WWE's the Raw commentary. He's I got a scoop for you guys, hey. And then all of a sudden Rock shows up on screen or something. I don't know. But as of right now, if Rock shows up, I'm not a big fan of Rock showing up as a surprise. I would want them to advertise that The Rock's going to be there on next week's Raw if he is. He's in all the commercials. So we'll see. Esports Gaming Rule says, do you think WWE will invite Donald Trump? No, not at all. Says, you think they'll invite Donald Trump on the show next week because it's January 6th and the first WWE on Netflix? No. If this was the UFC, Dana White would 100% because Trump's at most UFC pay-per-views. But Nick Khan, Triple H, they think a little different. And they shy away from Trump. So, yeah, no, not at all. Not a bad question. Not a bad question to ask. Granted, the January 6th thing for sure makes me say no. If it was another date, I could at least give it a 10% chance. It being January 6th, 0% chance. And I hate giving 0% chances. What were you going to say?
I don't know. I just feel like if Trump was on, like, if Trump made WWE appearance today, then people would just think of the stuff that him and Vince did back in the day in WWE. And people are just trying to like shy away from Vince right now.
Right. I mean, we're coming up on that. We're what, 3 to 4 weeks away from the year mark when Vince left or got pushed out, basically.
Pushed out by TKO.
Yep, because of the lawsuit. We're almost a year from the date the lawsuit was filed. Granted, there's 6 months of that they couldn't do anything because they got put on the stay. So, moving forward, basically Jey Uso was looking for Drew, ready to fight, and Pierce tells him, hey, you're not getting Drew tonight. I walked him out the building. He's gone. But if you want to fight him, you can do it next week on Netflix. And Jay's like, oh yeah, let's go. So next week on Raw, it will be Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre. So now we have CM Punk versus Seth Rollins in the main event next week. We have Liv defending the Women's World Championship against Rhea and Last Woman Standing. And we have the Jey Uso, Drew McIntyre match. I believe those are the only 3 matches so far announced. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is there anything else? I know a lot of people thought we were going to get the women's IC title match. That's in 2 weeks.
I think that's about it.
I'm double checking to see if there was anything else. Announced for next week's show. Let me see. Oh, I'm a dum-dum. Solo Roman.
Oh, yeah. I think that match should kick off Raw.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. You start with Roman Solo and you end with CM Punk Seth. That would not be a bad idea at all.
Like Jericho says, you either want to kick off the show or main event it. You don't want to be in the middle.
Unless you work for New Japan. So I had a conversation with somebody on Twitter this weekend about this. Because someone was like, look, the TBS title match is higher on the card than the Women's World title match at World's End. I was like, yeah, but in AEW, it doesn't matter. In AEW, unless you're the main event, that's all that really matters to Tony Khan. And the main event, 9 times out of 10, is the world title match. Now, unless you're working for New Japan, in New Japan, the order of matches actually is important because this is old school Japanese wrestling. You start with your lowest hyped, lowest whatever match, and you work up. Each match is supposed to be more hyped and better than the last. But American pro wrestling, like you said, it's you want to open up the show to get that crowd going, or you want to close the show in the main event. I don't know how it works in Mexico. I haven't watched enough of Mexico or really learned about, the Mexican wrestling stuff as much. But I know in Japan, especially New Japan, order is important. Remember, if you say order is important, there are a lot of times in WWE when the piss break was right before the main event. And that's not an important match. So a lot of times the match that they didn't even care about, that they were just putting on to put on.
Yeah, in the middle is when people are like, oh, this match doesn't matter. I have time to go get a hot dog and use the bathroom.
Yeah, well, if you remember, for a long time, Vince would always put just the random 5-6 minute match right before the main event. There was a thought process of Vince wanted to cool down the crowd before the main event so that way they're not burned out and that main event, they could be ready for it. That used to be Vince's mindset. You put a whatever match right before the main event. So that way you don't burn them out, which in theory makes sense. But at the same time, with that mindset, it's like, oh, so we know we're not supposed to care about the wrestlers in that match. So, moving forward, we got another tease for Penta. And this one basically said, without saying the words, this is Penta, because we got basically the outline of the main parts of his mask. Got the ninja star and the eyes. I'll pull it up on the screen. But yeah, if you were on the fence of, are these really Penta? Oh, it's Penta. Oh, it's Penta.
You know, it's a great way to like debut him on Raw.
Which is what?
Like, let's say we had the LWO, like they have a match, they win at the end, then we see like the lights go out, then we see on the screen the zero with the line in the middle,
right?
And then the lights immediately come back up, and it's Penta attacking Ray.
So here's my question. We had the segment later in the show. We'll just jump to this now. New Day challenging Ray, and they go, "Who's gonna be your partner? The guy with the hat, the guy with no hat, the other guy," and then, you know. So it's Ray, and I think this might be taking place next week. They didn't officially say. Ray and a partner versus the New Day. Where Ray looked at Zelina and was like, "We got somebody. What if that somebody's Penta?" Ray and Penta beat the New Day, and then Penta turns on Ray right after the match.
I feel like I just feel like if Penta's debuting next week, he should like debut on his own, not just be like it's just another luchador like teaming with Ray.
Because it's like I saw someone go, it should be Dragon Lee teaming with Ray, but I'm like, no. The way they made it sound, and Dragon Lee was right there in the little group. The way they made it seem was it is not somebody standing there that might team with Ray. So that's why I feel, because Dragon Lee is there, Cruz del Toro, Walking Wild. And the way Ray spoke to Zelina was like, it's not any of these three. So that's just my thought process on what it could be or who it can be. But we'll see. We'll see. They didn't announce it officially for next week, but I think the way Kofi and Woods were talking, man, it sounded like, hey, you want to fight us next week, you and a partner? So, and oops, I just closed the live chat. Give me 2 seconds, guys, to reopen that. But as we move forward, Ludwig Kaiser was in the ring. And I get where this segment eventually led to, but it felt a little dragged out. It almost kind of felt like he was stalling for time for a minute or two. Because like Ludwig Kaiser's usually great promo, but sometimes he can get a little bit kind of like monotone and stale sounding. Basically, he was just like, I'm the A plus everything, the European elegance, Braun Breaker, come out here. And I'm like, dude, just talk normal. Like, I love Ludwig Kaiser. I think he's amazing. But it's like, he was gimmicking it up, and I felt like he was stretching his words. So they probably told him, hey, you got a 4 or 5 minute segment, stretch it to 7. Because he calls out Braun Breaker, and he tells Breaker, come out here and bring me your Intercontinental Championship. And he starts to look over. All of a sudden, Sheamus' music hits, and this guy thinks he's seen a ghost. Granted, Sheamus White is a ghost, but Sheamus ain't no ghost. You didn't see Casper or his uncles. You saw the Celtic Warrior. Celtic Warrior Sheamus, can't speak now, makes his way out to the ring, wastes no time running down and attacking Kaiser. Kaiser tried to take the advantage with a rake at the eyes. That didn't last too long as he found himself on the wrong side of a brogue kick. So at some point in the next couple weeks, we're getting yet another Sheamus Ludwig match. Sheamus hadn't been seen since Survivor Series. What'd you think? Sheamus back after a 3-4 week layoff.
I think it's cool, but he's doing too much stuff with Ludwig, though.
Yeah. This is where we got that segment with the New Day and Ray, with basically Ray making it sound like he's got somebody that might not be here with us right now, to team with him. This, that, huh?
Who?
I just said it. Penta. We just talked about this. I think it's Penta.
I thought you were still talking about Sheamus.
No. Ray. I still think it's Penta teaming with Ray. They beat the New Day, and then Penta turns on Ray, and maybe even giving him that freaking package pile driver or the what's the other one? The flip one. Fuck. Why can't I think?
Like this.
Yeah.
The zero fear thing.
Because he does not the code red, but the other one. Now my mind's blanking out. Hold on. What is his finishers again? Hold on. Chat, help me out here. What are Penta's finishers again? Here it is. The fear factor. The fear factor. That's what it is. Fear factor. Because fear gives Ray the fear factor. Drops him on his head. Basically, Kevin Owens package pile driver, but I like to see it. Like him and Ray are celebrating. Ray's going like this. Ray turns around. All of a sudden, the freaking zero fears in his face like this. Like the hand signal. Right as Ray turns around, Ray like turns into it. That'd be great. And then Ray goes, whoa. And then Penta grabs him. I would like it. I see you're not a big fan of that, but.
I mean.
It's a good.
I just think it would be much.
Hear me out. It's a good way to get Pentagon in for a couple of weeks, introduce him to the people. You get them teaming with Ray. You get him then going against Ray. Him and Ray have a banger, and then he goes on and does his own thing. I don't want him lumped in with the LWO, either with or against them, for long. But it would be a nice way to just bring him in, integrate him, and then go.
Penta versus Ray at Mania.
Ooh, don't get me. Oh, man. That actually, giving them 12 to 15 minutes at a WrestleMania, those two, oh my God, would that be amazing?
I mean, we need some other matches for Mania.
And it's 2 nights. Hey, you're not wrong. I mean, it ain't going to happen this year. Well, Lucha Bros versus Lucha Bros. Well, because Phoenix is still tied up. Lucha Bros versus Ray and Dragon Lee. At a Mania would be great. SummerSlam. Maybe Phoenix can get out of AEW by SummerSlam. I don't know, but that's just my thing. Dragon Lee got lumped in with the LWO, and now he's kind of just lost in the shuffle. And I don't want that to happen with Pentagon. I didn't want that to happen with Dragon Lee. Especially with the way they were pushing him in NXT, and he was his own thing, and this, that, and so. And it's just like, oh, no. At least Andrade's doing his own thing on SmackDown. So that I'm happy about, because I was scared for a little bit when they started having Andrade team with the LWO. But now that Andrade's doing his own thing, I hope Phoenix and Pentagon can do their own thing. So I just feel bad for Dragon Lee. But I would rather Dragon Lee go back to NXT than what he's doing now. If I'm going to be completely honest. Yeah, he's the speed champion, but you can go to NXT and still be the speed champion on Twitter.
Yeah. I was not a big fan of them throwing him the LWO. Like, I know Meltzer even like said something about this, because I know he was talking about the rumors of the Lucha Bros possibly going to WWE, and I think he said he didn't have much faith in it at first, because he's like, look how they're using Dragon Lee on the main roster. They just threw him with the LWO.
Exactly. And that was my fear when Andrade came back too. I had said it multiple times. I hope he doesn't just get lumped in with the LWO or Legado del Fantasma. He did a little bit, and then he went his way. He went his own way. I think him and Nakamura, if we can get, oh my God, if we can get like, not this, and I'm not trying to say Nakamura hasn't been great recently, but have you ever seen some of the old Nakamura Andrade matches in New Japan for the Intercontinental Championship?
I don't think I have. I know Andrade wore the mask. He wore that mask in New Japan.
La Sombra. Amazing. Basically, when they first brought in the Intercontinental Championship, those were like the two guys really fighting for it at the start. And I want to say La Sombra Andrade was the first New Japan Intercontinental Champion.
No, it was MVP. He was the first champion.
Oh, yeah, you're right. But they were the ones that established it as like, hey, If you don't got the world title, this is the match to watch. If it's not the world title match, you watch these Intercontinental title matches because they're amazing. Like the one with Nakamura and AJ at that Wrestle Kingdom, that was amazing. But I've seen like 2 amazing, and I mean fantastic Andrade Nakamura matches in New Japan. Well, La Sombra Nakamura matches in New Japan. They were just like, I would recommend to anybody.
Remember the year that Tetsuya Naito like won his first ever what's that tournament called?
G1?
Like you win, yeah. Remember when he won his first G1? Fans were upset about it because they didn't want him and Okada like main event in Wrestle Kingdom, so they had fans
they did
vote.
the vote.
What would you rather? Yep. Which match would you rather see as the main event? Him versus Okada or Tanahashi versus Nakamura for the Intercontinental title? Yep. And everyone voted for Tanahashi and Nakamura.
I remember that.
And geez, they did not like Naito at all during that time.
Right now, he's like their top guy. He's their most, now that Okada and Will Ospreay are gone, he's basically like the most popular guy they got.
I guess it kind of helped Naito a little bit, though, because in storyline wise, it helped him form Los Ingobernables de Japón.
Yes.
I believe.
Yes.
And
that's really that brought his pop. When he started running that group, that really got his popularity going.
Because where did he wrestle for like a while? Then he returned to New Japan and formed that group.
He went to Mexico on his excursion. He was in LIJ with Rush and them in Mexico and La Sombra and whatnot. And then he brought the group to New Japan and started Los Ingobernables de Japón. Basically is how it happened. He went there, they put him in the group in Mexico, and he brought his own version over to Japan, kind of like we've seen with like Bullet Club, and they got like the Japan version of Bullet Club, and then you come to America and you got the America version of Bullet Club, and that's kind of died out because Bullet Club's dead basically now.
They've been dead.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know who the leader is at this point. Still David Finlay?
Yes.
Is David Kidd in? No, is it Gabe Kidd? Is he in Team Bullet Club? Or is he just his own guy?
I want to say at least, I don't know if he still is. I know he was at one point because I remember he had a Bullet Club shirt that said like hate on it with the Bullet Club logo. I remember the shirt. So I remember he had a Bullet Club shirt, one of his own Bullet Club shirts. You know, everyone gets their own version of a Bullet Club shirt. He had one, I know, for at one point. So I know he was. I don't know if he still is. Because I honestly haven't been following New Japan as much as I should this last like couple months. Or maybe even like a lot of 2024. I haven't watched enough New Japan this year. I should have watched more. But yeah, I know he was at one point at least. I believe he's still with Bullet Club War Dogs is what they're called now under Finlay.
Dude, the stuff with like him and Kenny that's been going on the past like month or two.
Oh, I think that match is gonna be really good. Really good.
Did you see what he said about like AEW saying AEW sucks, it does nothing for New Japan?
Yeah. Ain't wrong.
He's not wrong with that statement. But I saw people in the comments like flaming him. Like,
well, yeah, AEW fans hate anything that criticizes AEW. Like that's a fact. But moving forward, we got another match in the Women's Intercontinental Championship Tournament. Lyra Valkyria defeating Iyo Sky to make it to the finals in 2 weeks. Match started off with neither one really getting an advantage and kind of just feeling each other out. A couple arm drags and whatnot. Fast-paced dodges and roll-up pins. They really got nothing there. Valkyria finally did gain a little bit of momentum. With a drop kick to Sky's knee, she applied a unique pendulum submission. I think Wade says that she is created basically, but I was like, no, I've seen this before. Danielson's done it. Anyways, Sky went up top and got slammed on her knee by Valkyria. Bob returned from a break and Sky was in pain as Valkyria Valkyria looked on from the opposite side of the ring. Sky tried to mount a rally back that left Valkyria flat-footed with her comeback. Off the top rope, Sky soared with a missile dropkick on Valkyria. We got a close 2 for Iyo Sky. We also saw Dakota Kai watching from a skybox, luxury suite, I guess you would call it. Sky soared with a missile dropkick at one point, and Valkyria dodged it. Sky looked to continue the momentum, though. It was intercepted by Valkyria at the top rope. There's a standoff on the top that ended with Valkyria escaping Sky with a flip, followed by a shotgun dropkick, tornado DDT, and a suplex by Valkyria on Sky. It was not enough to get the victory just quite yet. There's an O'Connor roll by Sky that turned into a bridging German suplex by Valkyria. She got a 1, got a 2, and a very close kick out. No 3. Spinning heel kick from Valkyria. Couldn't get the job done either. Sky then met her in the middle of the ring, and they began kind of battling it out, throwing strikes and whatnot. Incredible looking avalanche rolling victory bomb for a 2.999. Like, close as hell. That's what these two were doing great. The close near falls were great by these two. Sky went to the top again, looked for the moonsault on Valkyria, ringside this time. But Valkyria was hit with it and stunned a little bit. Sky looked like maybe she had the match won with her moonsault, but couldn't connect. Sky's O'Connor roll was reversed into a bridging pin by Valkyria, who just kind of shocked everybody, rolled through, I guess you would say, and picked up the victory. So there we go. The finals will be Lyra Valkyria versus Dakota Kai in 2 weeks. Not next week in LA, but in 2 weeks from San Jose, California. What do you think of the match and the finals that we're getting in 2 weeks?
Good match. I'm honestly excited for the finals.
Yes.
I'm really kind of bummed it's not at the Royal Rumble, though, because that was one match I would actually really look forward to watching at the Rumble. Like, you're there for the first ever, like, women's Intercontinental Championship match.
Well, like I said earlier, too, I was shocked that they're not doing it on the Saturday Night's Main Event the week before the Rumble. You do the women's U.S. title match at Saturday Night's Main Event. You do the women's IC title match at Saturday Night's Main Event. But,
ladies and gentlemen, it's Saturday night.
So then, I'm not going to do this justice because these two guys fucking murdered it, killed it, were great. It's Seth and Punk. And oh my God, was this like the segment of all segments? If there was an award for just best segment to hype up a match on the go home, it was this. These two, the best. Rollins enters the ring first. We go to commercial break. Come back and he welcomes the crowd of Houston to Monday Night Rollins. He said, he went through all the stuff. I'm the visionary and this and that and so forth, this whole spiel. And he said, we're going out with a bang in 2024. And then called CM Punk the, quote, self-proclaimed best in the world before boasting that he is the real best in the world. You know what's funny is when he was in Ring of Honor, they used to chant. You know what they used to chant at Seth Rollins, old Tyler Black? He would get in the ring and they would chant, future jobber, future jobber. Like, a lot. Ring of Honor fans.
Was that because he signed with a developmental deal with WWE?
I don't remember if that was the case, but I know I've seen at least 3 or 4 matches where they were chanting that at him.
Well, I remember seeing like multiple videos of this. There was like when he was the Ring of Honor World Champion, he was a free agent during that time.
Right.
And he did an interview with Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette was like, there was a big bidding war for you, and there was a certain company that might have outbid Ring of Honor.
Huh. See, that I had never seen.
And it was basically him kind of saying that he signed a developmental deal with WWE.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know.
I know there's this.
Sure.
I know there's the CM Punk one where he was the Ring of Honor World Champion, and he like brought his like WWE contract to the ring, saying he's threatening to sign it.
Summer Punk. Anywho,
then he eventually had his last match, and then that was kind of like his farewell one.
Yeah. So now look where Seth's at, though. They were chanting future jobber at this guy, and now he's one of the best of the last 20 years. So he's boasting his accolades and this and that. Rollins said that he'd be here every Monday to fight because that's what he does. And that, if things don't go Punk's way, maybe he's going to cry about it, whine, and leave for another 10 years. At this point, the static plays. Now comes CM Punk. Punk interrupts Rollins' tirade. And he walks down to the ring with a purpose in his eye. He enters and stares down Rollins before grabbing a microphone and cutting a promo of his own. He said that, quote, he took his ball and went home, huh? He said, called me the biggest bootlicker. He said, that's the biggest industry bootlicker cliche planted line I've ever heard. Punk asked, did Stone Cold Steve Austin take his ball? Go home? He said, you know, there has been a certain man we haven't seen around for a while. Does she take her ball and go home too? Asking Rollins if his wife got upset and left. He said, you're just crying. Basically is what he said to Rollins. Punk said that both he and Rollins made their own decisions. And he did not regret making the one he did. Punk asked Rollins how his neck and knee were feeling. He asked Rollins how his insides were after Bronson Reed crushed him multiple times, and how his pride was after he was denied of getting revenge on Bronson Reed, while Punk broke the big man's ankle in War Games. I like that line. If it wasn't for Punk pulling Roman off the table, Reed would have gone through that table no problem. Rollins fires back and says, no, Becky, she left to go take care of our kids, something you wouldn't know anything about or how that feels. Basically telling him you ain't a parent. You don't know what that's like. He then continues by taking digs at Punk, saying that when you left, you took every shot possible, going on your buddy's podcast, even going to the competition. Oh, how that really work out for you, huh? Basically saying you went to AEW and they fired your ass. Rollins stated,
technically he wanted out at first.
Yeah, he wanted out of there. He was ready to leave. Rollins stated that he stayed in the trenches and helped win the war. And what happened when they won the war? Oh, Punk then came over. Well, actually, Punk wanted to come over basically when AEW started, and Vince said no. So, I like the line, but then when you really know the backstory, it's a nonsensical line. Anyways, he said that's how revolutions are made, and that he will not be, quote, little brothered by CM Punk, because he is the big brother now. Punk shoots back and goes, oh, yeah, really, huh? You changed the game, huh? You love who you are? You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me. I changed the game. I made it so guys like us can be here in this company. It was me. He said, you are the one that betrayed Roman Reigns, but yet played victim for years. Punk stated that he came back because for 7 years, fans chanted his name, mostly during your segments I went at. And next week, he said, the same arrows that were supposed to be to him, now he holds, and he will jam right down Seth Rollins', quote, corporate throat. Crowd chanting for Punk at this point. Rollins responds by saying that maybe Punk was a pioneer once upon a time, but he's now become a cancer. And the only way to get rid of cancer is to defeat it. He is going to defeat it and cut it out of this company. Rollins promised to burn Punk to the ground next week on Raw, the debut on Netflix. And these two give each other just the death stare of death stares as we go off the air. Very tense moment as Punk's music is playing. Ooh, I loved it. I didn't do it justice. I know I didn't do it justice. Like, this was so good that I might go rewatch it one more time or multiple times before next week. But this is good. This is really, really good. I love this segment. Thought these two killed it. This is one of the better, like, go home hype promo segments we've seen for a match in a very long time. What'd you think?
Oh yeah, this was like fan freaking tastic right here.
Yeah.
I loved every single minute of it. Like every CM Punk promo is normally pretty good.
Like, just the intensity both of them had, and throwing out the jabs, the AEW lines, and the other, it was Colt Cabana stuff. It was good. If you are watching live on Twitch, I got the poll going right here. Was all right. I didn't like it. So we got the poll live if you are watching on Twitch. But yeah, overall, really good Raw. They played it up, and people on social media are playing it up like Raw's never going to be on cable again. Raw's never going to be on USA again. 100% true. because they left the USA once before and came back. Granted, this is a possibly 20-year deal with Netflix, but and I remember reading, if Netflix isn't happy after 5 years, they could cut the deal. And it's basically a 10-year deal that after 10 years, Netflix can tack on another 10 years if they wanted. But so if I'm going to refresh myself this week, and I'm going to reread all the everything about the deal and this and that, and put out a video about the whole Raw Netflix deal and what we are to expect and this and that. But if I'm remembering correctly, just off my brain, it is a 10-year deal where after 5, WWE can't pull out, but Netflix can pull out of the deal. At 10, either the deal ends or Netflix can add another 10 years. So this deal is very much in favor of Netflix. With all that, we got the polls here, so let me refresh those to see what you guys thought of the shows. You know what well we thought of the show. Let's see. As far as the Threads poll does go, 83% liked the show, 17% thought it was just all right. Looking over at the Twitter X poll, 91% liked the show. 5% thought it was just, 6%, it was 5.9, but 6% thought it was just all right, and 3% didn't like it. Not sure what that comment's all about, so I'm not going to read that. Looking at the YouTube community poll, 84% liked the show, 12% thought it was just all right, and 5% didn't like it. I like this comment here. It says, the last segment between CM Punk and Seth Rollins was a masterclass in promo work. Oh, yeah. As far as the live poll does go, 83% liked the show, 13% thought it was just all right, and 4% didn't like it. Everybody that voted on, Twitch liked the show. So with that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here at twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. But Luke, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me over at Twitter X at Petke_21. And you can also find me over at Twitch at Young Grasshopper Luke.
With that, guys, we'll be back on Wednesday for AEW Fight for the Fallen, the mother of all simulcast. I'm still watching on TBS. I don't have Max, so I'll just be watching that. I might try to find somebody with Max so I can log in just to see the differences and if there's any on the broadcast. I'll see if I got a friend with Max. I don't know. I don't use Max. The only thing I really watched in the last year on Max was Penguin, and I got other means to get that. So anyways, we got Fight for the Fallen this Wednesday. Big main event on that show. 6-man trios match. Death Riders versus Rated FTR. So we'll see you guys on Wednesday for AEW as they're kicking off their new year, January 1st. Have a good one, guys.